Oh, hello. Welcome back. I'm excited that you're here. Didn't realize we were recording already. Yeah, welcome back. Did you press that? I can say for Rip and I, we're very excited about this particular video series. We're going to take a look at the anatomy of a Trello card. So let's go ahead and take a look at, if you remember our last conversation, really two conversations ago, about being on the way to work. We were talking about this Mr. Pugsy project for Sandy Claus. We're going to do a video promotional series for Sandy Claus's dog walking service during the Christmas time holidays. And with that in mind, we've got a lot of tasks to do underneath this big project of recruiting and setting up this Sandy Claus promotional series. And really just the recruiting and setup is just the first part of this bigger project. Whew. So it's going to be busy. Let's go ahead and take a look at our Trello. And we're going to go into our Sandy Claus project board here. You can see I've got a couple of different project boards that I'm subscribed to. But this particular one, we've got a Trello card that I've got set up already. Just take a look at what's in here. So this is pretty cool. We've got the title of the card, which you can just change really easily right here. We've got the importance that the card has, right? So this project of adopting or buying the superstar dog, that really has to happen before anything else. Because if we can't nail down this dog, we can't convince the client to really buy into this video promotional series, which means that they get stuck without getting enough clients coming in. All the other parts of the project are on hold, so the rest of the team can't be doing their job, and the whole thing just kind of grinds to a halt, like those Visa card commercials where everyone's swiping at the cash register and one person pulls out their cash and the whole thing just stops. Everyone drops their plates. It's that kind of thing that happens. So this is top importance. Now there are other levels of importance that we can assign here. Medium, high, low priority, etc. But for right now, this is top importance. We've got a due date. Since this doesn't need to really happen until next month, we need to get started on this. I'm just going to go ahead and say, let's get this thing done by the end of this month. I don't bother changing the time, and that's for the simple reason that we each are generally looking at a couple of due cards on any given day. If we're looking at 50 cards that are due on a day, it just means that we haven't updated our Trello and kept it up to date. So that's just a problem of managing our tool and software here. You can see that I've also added in the Google Drive power-up. And I clicked on, when I did that, I linked it to my Google Drive account to be able to add in this folder set. And obviously I'm linking it to my Mullen-hopped Google Drive. And when I did that, I also then clicked show in card or show here or something like that. And that allows me to see these folder setups as well as any documents that are in that main folder that I chose right here. I just don't have any documents in that folder at the top level. These are subfolders. So you can see this particular Google Drive that doesn't relate. This is just projects that I'm working on. I've also added an attachment. So you can see I added a picture of Pugsy for visual inspiration. You could also attach, box folders, which generally the design team may be using. The rest of us tend to focus on the Google Drive side of things for the collaborative spreadsheets and slide shares, as you've seen, and our slides and the documents. All of those are a very cool way to collaborate that we use here frequently. So snooze, generally you're not going to need to use that, and I'll show you why later, but if you need a card to just disappear for a while and then come back to the board, snooze will archive it and then bring it back. We have connections I'll get into a little bit later. We can move, copy, subscribe to, or archive the card. And I'll get into all of those, but for right now you can kind of ignore all of this. And I'm going to just edit the description of the card as well to explain what this is about so that anyone looking at the card can really understand. We're doing a video promo series and need to decide about recruiting a superstar dog. All right, so there's a couple of things we need to do here. Rip, who's been assigned to this card, he's my very best friend. We need to let Rip know a couple of things that are on our minds, and he can build this card out a little bit more himself. Card, again, being just essentially a very advanced and sophisticated sticky note, right? So if we go back here, you can see this is just the card itself. And if we click on that, we see all of this detail. So we're going to need to determine what our ethical values are. And it turns out Rip and I have already talked about that. We personally hate puppy mills and the awful way that they tend to treat animals. And all of the pet stores tend to buy their pets from puppy mills. Frankly, there's so many animals that need to be adopted. I'm just going to say that's on card for all members on the card. And then I'm also going to add Adam in here. Let's go with adoption from the Philly Animal Welfare Society. We'll save that. Where can we get a puppy that's gorgeous? So that's a project that Rip's going to need to bring into here. We've got a budget, compensation package, including the rhinestone collar card and the treats card. So one thing here I'm just going to mention up top as well in the description, we're adopting from Paws. Now, the team won't see that as a notification, but since that's a big conclusion from here, I'm going to put that up there. I'll probably end up putting it into a Google document that's a more advanced, elaborate version of all of this. So, I could kind of create and attach a Google document right here. So if I click on that, now I've got this adopter by a superstar dog. I just clicked it twice, and then I can edit it. But for the moment, I'm not going to do that. So it's pretty cool that way. The other things that we're going to need to discuss around these cards, we'll get into in a minute. But you can now kind of see the anatomy of this card. Thanks for joining today. We will be back shortly.
Do I still have to be here?
Yeah, you're going to have to stay in the corner of shame until you learn how to use Trello properly. Sorry, Bill. It's just the way it goes around here at Mullenhopt and Company.